Good afternoon, everyone. It's good to see all of you. We're going to talk about AI and automations and everything else, but I want this to be as interactive as possible, okay? So please take advantage of the fact that for us, AI is not theoretical. It's how we make our money. It's how we support ourselves, okay? So let me allow Nyandia to introduce herself properly, and then I will introduce myself, and then we get started.
Hi, Greg.
Hi, Nyandia.
Hi, everybody. Mko salama? We have some IT guys in the crowd, people who have kidogo background that is technical, but I think anybody in campus has tech background, sindio? Yes. So this should be a very engaging session, yeah? Because this is the first time where we are allowing you guys to be the hosts. So nyinyi ndo mtakuwa mnatuuliza maswali, alafu us we have the conversation. Okay. So my name is Nyandia Gashago. I'm the co-founder of the brand Minty Lime and Minty Academy. We are an AI creative marketing agency. We run a lot of the brands that you interact with on a day-to-day, both in Kenya, in Africa, US, and UK as well. It's an absolute pleasure to be here again.
Okay, fantastic. Yes. My name is Greg Wanjama. I am co-founder and CEO of This Is Digital. We are an AI literacy and automation company. We teach everyone, from students to doctors to lawyers, all kinds of professionals, how to use AI in their context, okay? And then on top of that, we also do automations for corporates. Okay, so the discussion today centers around AI, but before we go very deep into AI, I don't want us to assume, Nyandia and I, we don't want to make any assumptions. So my first question, and this is just by show of hands, how many of you use AI in any shape or form? Okay, fantastic. Second question, how many of you make money because you're using AI in any shape or form? Okay, so the numbers of raised hands, second question, was much less. So now that is when Nyandia and I come in, okay? Yeah. And I want us to start that discussion at that point. Yeah,
One
go ahead.
question.
Yeah.
How many of you use AI beyond ChatGPT? Oh, still a bit higher.
Yes.
Somebody shout and tell me which is the tool that you use beyond GPT, maybe even more than GPT. DeepSeek, okay.
DeepSeek. Kimi.
Oh, good. Kimi, that's a good one.
Fantastic.
Yes?
Midjourney, yes.
Midjourney, I love it.
Gemini,
okay. Sora imefungwa.
Ilifungwa hii iliisha.
Ilifungwa.
Wewe amesema Sora ametudanganya.
Akuja class. Amekaka.
Ameoza kidogo kwa shelf. Okay? Any other tool? Grok.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay.
Sawa.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Yes.
So Nyandia, tell us a little bit about Minty Lime, specifically to do with automations.
Okay.
Have you built any automations? Have they made any sense? Talk to us about what that means. How are you automating at Minty Lime?
Okay, so to put it into perspective, Minty Lime, we are running, say, over 10 really big brands, and we run it at a capacity of, say, 20 people, which is essentially almost impossible to run an agency with that capacity for massive international clients.
Yes, agencies need big teams.
Yes,
well, so you know, in my head, when I hear the word agency, it's 50 plus.
Yeah, as it should be. Yeah, because you can imagine per client you need like a social media manager, community manager, a digital marketer, a strategist, a media buyer, an account manager, right?
Yes.
So at any given point, any account should have maybe 7, 8 people who are dedicated to that account.
Yes.
But so what we've done is that we have agents as part of the teams within the agency.
Okay, and when you say agency, are we talking about human beings?
No.
What are agents?
We're talking about the automations that we have automated specific arms of the brand. So what we do is that we look at the entire customer journey, say from awareness, then we decide which has the most repetitive parts, which has the parts that are very technical that can be automated, zeros and ones.
Okay.
And then we automate that and decide when we are going to have a human handover.
Indeed.
So for us, our automations are like the Claude skills, the Kimi skills. I've heard somebody talk of Kimi because Kimi has skills as well.
Okay.
Is the Claude skills or the Claude projects, for example. So whenever, say, I log in the morning when I wake up, for example, I don't need to go check my emails. My Gemini has an automation, an agent that reads out my most important emails. And it even recommends the way that I should respond because it's learned over time how I respond to emails, what my lead qualification process looks like, and things like that. The other part is because if you think about it, most agencies run on tools. 90% is tools, right? From the beginning, when you're checking for where your customers are, when you're doing your customer analysis, when you're doing your sentiment analysis with tools like Brand24, when you're doing Meta ads, Google ads, all of those are just tools.
Yes.
So what we build are agents to connect each. So you can give one instruction and it executes a multitude of tasks across the various tools. So for us, that's where you can feel the most capacity.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So I know the headline of this conference is Creatives, International Creatives Week. So my assumption is that we have creatives in the room here.
Yeah.
They are probably most likely operating as one-person businesses
Yeah.
or very informal, ni mtu mmoja.
Yeah.
Okay? So how would you just think about, like let's go back in time.
Yeah.
This is Nyandia. Before Minty Lime and the team of 20, it is you.
Yeah.
When you were starting out,
Yeah.
if you had AI back then, what would you be doing to reproduce your results today? So essentially what I'm trying to do here, guys, is I'm trying to simplify so that you don't always imagine that you need big teams, big resources,
budgets.
big
Yeah.
budgets.
Yeah.
If you have AI, there's so much that you can do. And I want you to hear directly from the horse's mouth.
I don't know if you took offense to that.
Okay, you're not a horse. Okay.
Wait, please repeat the part that you want.
So,
specifics.
what we're doing is we are sending India back in
Okay,
time
what I would do
when you're starting out.
the capacity
You're alone.
of AI.
Yes.
Yeah, that is there right now. I don't know how many of you have played around with Claude. Any
Claude,
of you have played around with Claude?
Anthropic,
I know it's a little expensive, but they do have a little units for you to test with, right?
Yes, yeah.
You guys have played around with Claude? So on my GitHub, how many of you know about GitHub? So GitHub is a place where you can store like pieces of code, right?
Yes.
That you can then turn into anything essentially. It's mostly used by software engineers.
yes.
So I have a GitHub that I'll share a link with Martin, and that GitHub of mine has marketing teams in terms of skills. So what I've done is we've created these lines of code that create a marketing team for you. So if I could go back in the day and I could train my computer, my small Dell computer back in campus that I was using, how to think, talk, respond like me, that is what I would do. I would have built it into a skill, and then I would have deployed this skill over my Kimi, over my GPT, over my Gemini, because Gemini has gems. And that would have enabled me to run the company as much as possible through that. Those skills that you will find on my repository on GitHub, they actually have videos as well, right? Because one of the most expensive things to produce when you're running a company is either product photography or videos or ads and things like that.
Yeah.
So it has a few skills on how you can connect your Claude to, say, something like Higgsfield, and how you can get it to create user-generated content for you. So if you're somebody who is in selling mtumba, what do you call it? Vintage. You call it vintage. If you're somebody who is selling vintage items or shoes or hoodies or bags, anything, right, that is product-based, you can essentially just add your product, take one of my skills, put that stroke on your Claude or your Kimi or whatever it is that you're activating from, and it will allow you to then call into Higgsfield from your Claude and create for you various user-generated content ads. And they are so wonderful because they are very specific to black skin, African skin, Kenyan skin textures, look, the way we look, our foreheads, everything.
Okay.
So I've found like that has been one of the most mind-blowing things. Right now, because we are seasoned, we don't tend to do a lot of the AI videos as much because it's still not yet where we want it to be. But as a person starting up, I would push a lot of that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Now, let me talk about maybe my use case
Yes,
of AI.
please, tell us.
So my background is not in creative. My background is in software engineering.
Yeah.
I have been a software engineer for about 23 years now.
Wonderful.
And there's a way we've been writing code from when I was an intern, then a junior dev, then a senior dev, and now I'm leading a team. Okay.
Yeah.
But there are still some fundamental things that don't go away. So even as much as we are deploying AI to do a lot of the initial code generation, bado ni mimi ninaangalia,
Wewe
okay?
tu.
I'm still the one who's coming in to say,
Yes.
this may look like it
Okay.
works on paper,
Yeah.
but from my experience, I know once it hits our server, there's something, okay, that we need to account for and so on. But now, I want us to talk to the creatives in the room, okay? So we have, most of you have already said you use ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Let's actually start there, okay?
Yes.
So first of all, how many of you have ever gone into the settings of your privacy
Yes.
on your ChatGPT
GPT.
account? By show of hands. Okay? All right? Was there anything you found in there that you felt you needed to switch off? Not on, switch off. Okay? So let's actually do this practically together. So all of you who are on ChatGPT, pull out your phones, open the app, okay? Let's do this pamoja. Sawa. So click on your icon, the one that's at the bottom left of the app once you open it. Instead of chatting, you should see your initials at the bottom there. Click on your initials, then click into settings, okay? And then once you're in settings, go into data controls. And then the very first setting within data controls, what does it say? Improve the model for everybody. By default, it's been on, okay? So you remember that when you were signing up, that page for terms and use, conditions that you never read, that you just said, yes, accept, we're in. So in there, they essentially actually have a clause where they say all your chats, unless you opt out, ni zao, that they can use to train future models,
yeah.
okay? And so that is something we have found is problematic, especially in the corporate space, where people are talking about serious strategy. We are using GPT to help with marketing, with so much. So think about your settings, your privacy settings, because the reality is last year, and this is a true statistic, Kenya was ranked the heaviest user of ChatGPT globally, not just Africa, globally. You sound surprised. Ni nyinyi tu. But now, when we dig deeper and look at how are Kenyans using ChatGPT in that period, the reality is that most of them were using it for therapy.
Yes.
You're using it like a close friend. You are venting to it. Unaiambia all your secrets. And yet that setting was on. Okay? So the rule here is any tool you're using, please audit your privacy settings before you go too deep.
Yes.
Sawa sawa? Okay. That was a commercial break. Now let's get back to Nyandia. So we have reversed time. You have those tools you've set up.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about automation. Give us one clear example of something you have automated at Mintilime. I know you've said, very broadly, but give us one example of a project that you've automated that went well, and then I'll ask you my follow-up question.
Okay. So we'll start with something extremely basic. It's not even a deep automation, but it's in the same bit of the people who use their GPTs. I don't know how many of you on your GPT create projects, or do you just go in and ask a question afresh?
ChatGPT projects? It's a setting even on the free accounts.
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
I see Daddy Mato at least
Okay.
is being safe.
So,
Okay.
do you find yourself repeating to ChatGPT often? Where inaenda inatupa mbao kidogo. We call it hallucinating.
Inakusahau.
Inakusahau, inasahau your name, what you do. You're a student. This was for, I don't know what people learn in campus. This was for computer studies, not for literature. Do you often run into that? A big part of that is because you've not customized how you want your GPT, your Kimi, your Claude, anything that you're using to work. A big way to do that is by creating projects. You see in your GPT, bado kwa simu, if you're on your phone or your laptop or your tablet, you can see something called projects. You create, and then you create a project, say, for your subject, right? So if you're in computer science, you can create a project for one of your subjects, because I know computer science then will have modules. Yes. You can create for one of your modules within it. And then, ukiwa hapo, you go click the 3 buttons, you go to edit instructions. This is one easy way to sort of create what people tend to call an automation, if you think about it, right? Okay. So, if you go to edit instructions, if you do not know how to give your GPT an instruction, so an instruction means, A, don't give me the emojis, stop using those long dashes, you know those M dashes that tell everybody that what you're using is GPT. Yes. You tell it to stop regurgitating and telling you how amazing and smart you are, because it has that tendency to make you feel like you're better, right? Mm-hmm. You want it to challenge you. Yes. That is where you put in the instruction to tell it to do that. Yes. And if you don't know specifically what to tell it, you see the Geminis and all these other tools that are free. Gemini is good at it. Go to Gemini and tell it what your class is about. Tell Gemini you want LLM instructions custom to my computer science module. I'm a student at University of Nairobi, and this is the specific module. It will give you very proper instructions. You come, you put them in your instruction base, and once you put them there and you start using that project, your GPT will super perform. It will now not keep performing the way it performed. Because before it gives you any response, it will go back to the instructions. Inakumbuka, you don't like to be gassed up, hutaki emojis, hutaki M dashes, hutaki all those things that are easy to tell that it's nini. Sometimes in your GPT, you can even tell it to stop using words like furthermore. You know those weird words that everybody is like, this is AI, this is AI. You can tell it to do that. And that is one simple form of automation. The same instruction that you've put in your GPT, you can go, do you see something called GPTs? Pale juu, whenever you go to your chat GPT, it's
a paid feature.
Yes, you can. Oh, it's often a paid feature. Yes.
Custom
oh my God,
GPTs.
I've used paid GPTs for so long. I've even forgotten. Yeah. But it's a custom. GPTs are automations that you can create. Unaona vile sometimes you're trying to find a side hustle. Ya create ka bot, right? Ya create ka website. Ya create 1, 2, 3 things. Hapo kwa GPTs, you can go look, for example, website bot for university, or for an academy, something like that. You will find thousands of developers who have created them in advance. Now wamejaza iyo line of code or instructions hapo. You can take it, customize it, and create your own bot. I find that extremely, extremely cool. So for Minty, what then have we done outside of what's the obvious stuff? So for us, a good example is we have an in-house scheduling tool, content tool. So I don't know how many of you are content creators. How many of you create content?
In the room?
It doesn't have to be like you take it super
on TikTok,
seriously.
Instagram.
But at least you're on Instagram.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, the way you post daily, I presume, or every 2 days or every 3 days. Sindio? Lakini wewe mwenyewe ndo unaingia kwa simu yako, unaenda Facebook, unaandika kanini, unatafuta tu hashtags, unaweka, which can be very tasking. Yes. So the best way to go about it ni kuweka kitu tunaita scheduling. Most social media tools do not give you 360 access into the data that you need, for example, to tell you how your account is performing, how your side hustle outside of school is performing. What you need are third-party apps, and some of them are free. So you can check into a tool like Metricool. I'm trying to remember. Buffer. Buffer is a good one, actually. Buffer gives you like 3 free accounts. Buffer, unaona venye you wake up and you're stressed to do what you're gonna post. It will give you, yani unaweza schedule posts zako for the next 1 year. Can you imagine?
Yes.
And then you don't need to stress for that month. Wewe unaingia tu GPT, unaambia GPT kwa project yako ya my side hustle. Inajua what you do na iko na custom instructions. Unaiambia create for me a content calendar. Inakupea content calendar, inakucreatea hashtags, copy. Unachukua hiyo copy, unai-humanize kidogo in your own tone, in your own language and with your own skill. Unaingia pale Buffer. Buffer allows you to schedule for over a year. You can schedule your content. Weke kesho nataka hii iende hii time. Kesho kutwa nataka hii iende hii time. So we've created an in-house one for Minty Lime. And the beauty about it is that it's dual way. It's on our side and it's on the client side.
Yes.
So the client also accesses specific features of it to allow aone, anaweza edit post, anaweza sema hii iende, anaweza sema hii inaweza kuwa ad, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But now, I'm also aware that we are speaking to students.
Yes.
And it sounds like we are automating a lot of entry-level tasks in most biasharas. So where does that leave a student, like someone in this room?
What's up?
Where does that leave them in terms of job opportunities in the future? What should they prepare for?
Creation,
Yes.
building.
Okay.
Yes.
Creation, building.
Yeah.
I think I'll add one more thing, and it is actually critical thinking.
Yes.
Okay? You need to be the one who is driving the tool, not the other way around.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, yes.
Talk to me about an automation that went badly.
Oh my God, yes. Ads are very critical for multiple reasons. We once created an automation specific to Meta, and these were easy to run on a tool like Manus. I don't know how many of you know about Manus.
Manus AI?
Manus AI.
MANUS. Okay.
By the way, just so you know, the Chinese tools
Are superior.
are superior to the American ones. You see the way like Anthropic is very expensive.
Yes.
Kimi does what Claude does to a multitude at a fraction of the cost. Of course, you can see the Americanism with the Claude, which is quite really nice. But if you do not want to pay the Claude money, go to something like Kimi. It is wonderful. Or Manus for a fraction of the cost. So we automated an agent to run ads.
Okay.
And we gave it free will. We
So
sort
it could
of
spend the money.
We didn't think it would go that far.
Okay.
Yes, so it was essentially just to go edit, ikiona haiperform, ikiona haina, whatever we had defined as a conversion. If ikiona it's not doing what it's supposed to do, we're not getting many forms or many calls or many things, it would edit.
Okay.
Hey, it went and took, you see the way Google or Meta will say, just increase budget,
Yes.
kidogo.
They're always suggesting.
Yeah, they always
The answer
suggest.
is more money.
Yes, always. Always. To them, the answer is more money.
Yes.
And it went haywire.
Oh, was this your
It
account
went-
or a
No, a
client's
client
account?
one. But of course,
Oh
as
my.
agency, you have to account for that.
Okay,
So it
okay.
went to the hundreds of thousands in a week.
Whoa.
Yeah. I mean, the client was shocked. They were like, you guys have mastered ads. Bro, it was the spend.
Okay.
Yeah, it went and went ham. And that's when it occurred to us. You cannot automate every task.
Everything, yeah.
The strategy has to remain human.
Yes.
The media buying, the most you can do is automate the reporting part.
Okay.
But lazima you mbaki na hiyo knowledge. I don't know if you've ever encountered media buyers. There are these data analysts, these very strict guys who are mathematics.
So for the audience in the room, who are media buyers?
So you see how you guys think may know social media is one task. Like if your friend is hiring you to run social media for their duka in Roysambu or in town, they tell you utafanya hii na hii, utarun media, utapiga photos. Essentially, that is not how it's supposed to be.
Yes.
Social media is one assignment. Mtu wa social media, if your work is to wake up and do kidogo strategy, create a post and post, it's not the same guy who should do graphics. It's not the same guy who should, run ads. Media buying is the essence of running ads. So media buying is a niche within digital marketing, and they are one of the highly paid guys
Yes.
when it comes to the digital economy.
Indeed.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So if we are automating all the way back to a bot that can run ads and, even launch the ad and spend money,
Yeah.
then should we be automating everything?
No, not at all. We should
So
not be
we can automate some things, but there is a reasoning for why we should not automate some things.
100%.
Okay.
It can be way more expensive than what the cost you are trying to cover by automating. Because most of the time you're automating, especially if you're in a startup, you're automating to save on cost.
Yes.
Right? Sometimes, actually 50% of the time, if you don't know the tool, like you said, you need to master the tools, it can end up costing you more.
Yes.
It's the same sort of situation that's happening on a Google. They are dropping workers. Amazon are dropping workers. Microsoft are dropping workers. But then 33% of them end up being rehired because they are realizing
You do need humans.
you do need humans.
Yes.
Yes.
You will need humans. Okay.
Yeah.
So the thing I want to make clear, guys, is that yes, although AI is fantastic and it can do a lot of things for you, you still want to be the one in the seat. Okay. You want to be the one on the driver's seat. Always apply AI like it's a tool.
Yeah.
I think we've heard about it, we've talked about it a few times, but the thing we want to emphasize is that it should not be the master, you should be the master. It is simply a tool, okay? Just the way a spanner is a tool, your phone is a tool, your laptop is a tool,
Same.
AI is simply a tool.
Yes.
It is very bright, it is very capable, it has a lot of training, but you need to be the one driving it, okay?
I have a question,
All right.
Greg, for
Yes.
you. What is your most favorite AI tool that also relates to students and young people who are entering this gig economy and digital economy?
Okay, all right. I know we're out of time and Mato over here is giving me dagger eyes. So,
He is? I thought he was winking.
no, he's only dagger eyes. Okay, so my favorite tool, because I'm a software engineer, Nile Upendi, Anthropic Claude,
I love
okay?
Claude.
It's expensive, but
It is.
it works for me, okay,
Yeah.
for my context. But because I'm also applying it for client work, see, it's not just a toy, good to have. So I automate a lot of the initial work that most engineers do, the system analysis, the documentation. So for the guys who are in here, maybe you're doing comp science, you probably understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And it also helps me like look for bugs in the code, fix them, but I'm still the one conceptualizing the whole process
Yeah.
and what is this, so if I click this button, what happens?
Yeah.
I'm done making that decision, it's
Yeah.
not the AI,
No.
okay? So that's why it's my favorite.
Okay.
And why it's also another big reason is that I can orchestrate it from my phone anywhere I am. So right now my laptop
That's
is
so
on,
cool. Yeah,
and I was sitting here in the previous session, I was like, oh, imemaliza. I gave it the next task to start working. So I'm essentially still in the office, and yet I'm here with you guys.
Yeah.
So I really like that part.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you think it applies to?
So how it applies to you guys is that
Yeah.
even for guys in university, there are things that you are doing all the time, the hard way. You are doing research by going on Google, searching one at a time,
Yeah.
then reviewing results. You can have AI do the research for you, okay? And then compile a concise report that you review. You don't submit that report to your lecturer. We also, because I also lectured at Strathmore, we have tools to check whether you've used AI, okay? So you want to be the one to look at what AI has given you and then write it down now
Yes.
with your own words in your own understanding so that it passes that check that I will check when you submit it to me, okay? As content creators, a lot of these tools are supposed to take care of what we call the mundane, the repetitive, the tiring tasks, so that you can focus on the creative and the brilliance and the things that wake you up, get you out of bed. Those are the things that you should be focused on. Hizi vitu zingine, wachia AI ifanye, okay? All right?
Okay. The final one, as we are closing. The
Tumekujiwa.
final one. Hey, Subaru iko hapa. The final one.
Okay.
In regards still to what we are conversing about, outside of school, outside the classroom,
Yeah.
what do you think will be the most valuable task, the most valuable skill that will make them the most money in the next 12, 24 months?
For me, by far, it's critical
It's the
thinking.
last one.
Yeah, critical thinking for me is the most valuable lesson, because as a software engineer, I'm building software not just for other techies. I'm building for small businesses, for large businesses, even for government. And in each of those meetings, I am meeting experts. So I'm meeting Nyandia, who is an expert in marketing and PR. I'm meeting Dadimato, expert social media and all, engaging audiences. That's not my area of focus and area of expertise. But because I can apply critical thinking, I can hear what he's saying and translate it into a system, that is where I make value. And value is what people pay for. It's what companies and corporates pay for. They don't pay for products, they pay for value.
Yeah.
So if you keep that in mind, critical thinking is where you build value for any scenario, for any application.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Sawa sawa.
Closing words? Closing remarks?
Closing remarks. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. It is rare to see people interested, especially at your age, interested in tech and willing to invest their time like you guys have.
Yeah.
So you are already miles ahead. Even just that one change you made on your ChatGPT. Msharuka watu wengi sana. Wengi sana. So, yes, well done to you guys.
Yeah, I think for me, the closing remarks, one of the favorite tools that I think you guys should try is called Notebook LM.
Yes, and it's
take
free.
Take your homework, take your books. Unaona hizo books ziko thousands of pages. Feed into Notebook LM. Notebook LM will create for you quizzes. It will create for you infographics.
Yes.
It will create for you videos za kukufunza, and it will create for you a podcast from your class notes.
Exactly. It becomes your personal lecturer for your subject.
And you can interact with the lecturer. Sijui kama mnajua interactive podcast. Unaingia ndani, unaiuliza swali, then the two people continue conversing. So just try that. It will be one of your most favorite tools. So thank you so much,
Asanteni sana.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nyandia and Greg.